fucked with my life and left me stranded in the middle of nowhere and got in the way. What they really did was get in the way of my relationship with the Catholic Church, which was starting to go really well. And then they used that situation that they created with their craziness to go around and tell all the Catholics that I'm crazy because I eventually lost my temper with the way they were treating me and behaving. And they stopped my path with the Catholic Church.
The Roman Catholic Church.
And they just seemed to be stopping my path everywhere. And I wasn't drinking or smoking at the time. I was still smoking cigarettes, but I wasn't drinking any alcohol or doing any drugs. And I was in the city, and a dude came up to me and asked me if I wanted some weed, and I said no. So I had the opportunity to smoke some weed, but I didn't.
Good boy.
But that was also strange that, like, some dude's coming up to me when I'm with all these Christians asking if I want to smoke some weed. What the fuck was up with that? Anyway.
Hey, you don't smoke anything anymore, right?
That's right.
Good.
And when I got thrown out of the hostel, I wasn't drinking or smoking anything.
Good.
So for me, like, I start doing good in my life, and there's these people that are out there that start destroying my life. And like that dude, that dude that threw me out of the hostel and thought he had a reason, but he actually had no reason. He had no authority to do that. He got fired. So either like he got fired afterwards, because I wouldn't be surprised, because I told everyone in the hostel and they all loved me. They literally did love me. Like, I'm not deluded about that. Like, when I moved out, I came back that night because I was still gonna, like, when I went to school, I came back that night and I had to move all my shit to the new place, and I came back to the hostel, and this dude, my roommate, was like, dude, all these girls, like, they really are sad and they really miss you and they're upset that you're leaving. And I was like, really? So, like, not only do they like me, but they're also upset that I'm leaving, and they're upset about what happened. And a lot of them are like, we're gonna get that guy. And so I wouldn't be surprised if they all got him fired, because that guy wasn't, his behavior wasn't orthodox anyway. He kept walking into people's rooms without knocking, females' rooms, and he kept walking into the females' toilets. And this is the kind of behavior that Puritans have that I've noticed over the years. Like, they're just a bunch of crazy fucking idiots, and they just do shit, and they think it's okay because they're a Christian. They're like, oh no, don't worry, I'm a Christian. And like, what the fuck makes it okay? Christians are worse than Catholics. Statistically, there's more people getting assaulted by Christians than there are by Catholics.
I'm still here. I exist.
Yeah, I'm just saying, hey. Yeah, so now I'm just sitting here and I'm thinking about what to do next. I mean, we're in a quarantine anyway, we're in a lockdown, so. And I'm just like, you know, I'm getting to the point, I'm like 30. I'm getting to my mid-30s now. I think
You're
I'm
like
gonna be
33, 34.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like 34 this year, I think. And I'm just like getting to the point where, like, should I bother?
Damn, you're old.
Like, I changed cities. I came back. I did a music course. I tried so fucking hard my whole fucking life. Every time I was at college, I've been studying my fucking ass off. No shit. I am not a fucking bad person. I am not like a lazy person. I get stuck in these fucking... Anyone would. Anyone who's being fucked mentally would get stuck in these ruts. But I am not a lazy person by nature. Like, my mind is not lazy. Like, every single time I went to college, I did all my motherfucking projects. I've been learning. That's why I, like, all the shit that I tell you, I learned all of that at college because I was paying attention. I was listening in class. The teachers love me. The teachers know that I'm smart and that I've been paying attention and that I've been putting in the effort. The teachers know I've been doing their projects. What?
I said, hey, Sam, except for the paying attention part.
Yeah, well, that's the difference between me and, like, every other student, and you, when you're a student.
No. I didn't pay
am actually
attention.
paying attention
I knew
in
everything they were
class.
teaching me. I knew everything they were teaching me. I just didn't pay attention.
Yeah,
They knew
well,
I know.
I don't, whether you did it or not, and whether I do or don't, I'm telling you, my attitude when I study is that I don't know anything, and I just listen to everything that they say, and I ask questions about the stuff that I don't know, and I do all the projects. There was one time when I was in school, I was living in another hostel, and I just spent all my time in the school library. Because I couldn't really study at home because I was living with a bunch of people where they don't have to study because they just worked. And they're all Italian and French. And they were just all waiters and waitresses. This was in the inner city where there's a lot of restaurants. And they didn't need to... all they did was get drunk every night. They're like, I'm a waiter, I'm a waitress, my life is boring, I'm just gonna get drunk every night. That was like their attitude. And so I would just spend all my time at college, in the college library, on the college computer, and I did all my projects there. I got thrown out of there too, though. Oh, dual pistols? That's new.
Those have been in the game for a while, actually.
The only time that I ever saw them was when Deadpool had them, and the only way to get them was from Deadpool.
I saw them the first time they came out.
Yeah, I've never actually seen them as... I don't even know if they actually are. It's the first time I've got them recently. So either they just came into the game, or they're very rare.
I'm pretty sure you buy them off a guy.
I mean, they've been in the game before, but I mean, like, this time around.
No, they've been in the game for a while. It's just you buy them off a guy.
Oh, one of the NPCs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can only get them off Deadpool if you killed him before.
And them.
Probably, yeah. I wouldn't doubt it.
You could. I played them.
I believe you. So yeah, so I have this chip on my shoulder. I'm constantly upset, I'm constantly angry, and it's kind of making me into a bit of a criminal, to be honest.
Criminal?
Because I'm at the point now where, like, it's just gotten worse and worse over the years, and now, like, I just want to beat the shit out of Puritans.
But
Now I'm at the point, like, next Puritan that fucks me, I'm going to beat the shit out of him. Like, I nearly beat the shit out of that one in the city.
I dare you, do it.
I told him, I was like, fucking follow me, I'll beat the shit out of you. And then all these Puritans were, like, standing around. Like, I stayed there and I stared at them. And I was like, you know, because it's illegal what they're doing. Like, they're stalking me. Like, if you ask them about it, they would say that they're not and that I'm just crazy. They're always gaslighting. But they are. They're stalking me. Everything I do in my entire life, they stop me from doing it. Everywhere I go, everything I try and do, like, it's just like, and it's just like, they're everywhere. Well, what am I supposed to fucking
I'll be
do?
back. I'm gonna get some chocolate milk.
Gotta think about what I should do. Legal support? I'll put them in jail. I'll get a fucking restraining order on all... I mean, I'm sure there's some kind of law out there. I'll have to look into it. To protect you from fucking cults that you don't want to be in anymore when they stalk you. Because I'm not the only person that this has happened to. This happens to lots of people. I'm gonna have to get the restraining order. And when one of them comes into my life, I'm going to have to legally take legal action against them. And it's going to be a breach of restraining order. And they'll go to jail. Shit, fuck. shouldn't even be talking about being influenced by the devil and all that shit. It just sounds crazy. I just want these people out of my life. Hello. So I was just thinking I should probably get legal representation.
It's time to Africa.
Don't you think? Because what they're doing is wrong. It's causing me distress, and it's making me into what could be a criminal, and that's not good for society.
It's not.
So I need to take legal action against them. Do you think?
Sure.
So what is the legal procedure?
Well, you're talking about every Puritan in existence, or just a lot of them?
So I'd have to be specific about certain...
Just sue the Puritans and be specific about what type.
It would be Church of England, Anglican, Presbyterian, Protestant,
And get a lawyer. That's
Pentecostal.
step one. Make a plan and get a lawyer.
Baptist, because they're all together. All the denominations of Christian, they're all friends. They all gossip, they all talk to each other. And they're all old. Like, nobody young is religious anymore.
Not entirely true, but pretty similar.
Oh yeah, there's heaps of children, but anyone who gets to the age where they have a choice, they don't want to be a Puritan. Because in this day and age, who the fuck wants to be a Puritan?
Dumb people.
Because we have the internet, so we can see. And yeah, they are. Like, those Puritans that I was talking to online that got me banned, they're like retarded. Like, one of them, the preacher was like talking about how he masturbated and he feels guilty. And I was like, wow, this guy's like stupid. And one of them has a stutter that's so bad that like he's retarded. His stutter is so bad that he's like a retard. Like, I've heard stutters before, but this guy is not an average stutter.
I used to stutter so bad I was like a retard.
Really?
And people called it cute.
What happened? How come you don't stutter that much anymore?
Oh, I got it from this other guy stuttered all the time, and I hung out with him too much, and then I just started stuttering. And I couldn't help it. Like, it was an accident, I didn't want to.
So what happened? Did you stop hanging out with that dude?
Yeah.
Really? Did you want to stop hanging out with him?
No, I didn't. Like, I spent 10 minutes on a word once.
What the fuck? It's contagious?
No, it's not. It just was for me for some reason. I still stutter on some words, like photosynthesis.
But you don't need to stutter. Like, you just say it, and like I already know what you're trying to say. So why are you trying to say it perfectly so badly?
I can't pronounce it correctly.
Yeah, lots of people can't, but like most people just avoid that word. Most people don't even know what that word is, so it's irrelevant.
And for instance, they teach you about photo. Just, I'm gonna call it photo plants.
Yeah, photoplants, photosynthesis. Who cares? People don't even use that word. It's only really used in science. And do you talk to scientists frequently?
Ever since I learned what that word meant, I just couldn't pronounce it ever.
Oh, that's okay.
I think I pronounced it like 5 times correctly. I'm 5 levels over than the recommended level. The recommended level is 19 and I'm 24. And I'm about to be 25.
Well, you're alright. I do need to leave this country, I guess, because, like, all those denominations is basically 90-something% of this society.
Well, where do you live?
When you include all of Australia. When you include, like, they're friends with the Muslims, and they're friends with the Catholics, and they've all teamed up, there's no escaping them in this country. This is the far-right Christian country of the world. I'd have to go to another country. I have to go to another country. I have to change my name. I have to go to another country. If I keep the same name or any connection, it's just a matter of time until whatever it is, whatever bull, it's a matter of time until they say it again and just ruin my life everywhere I go. All they do is they spread all these rumors about me and expose like the dark side of me to everyone. We all have a dark side, but it's unfair to just go around telling everyone only the dark side of a person. Like, you could do that to me. Like, you know me well enough that you could just focus on and be like, oh, he said this, he said, I've said a lot of shit to you that could be misconstrued. You could even, like, you could probably get me in trouble if you really tried. Someone like you, how I've acted towards you, you could probably actually get me in trouble.
Yeah, if I wanted to. I don't really give a shit though.
But I already trust you.
I'm not a dick.
Like, all that stuff I say to you, Like, if I didn't trust you, I wouldn't say that to you.
So you do trust me, so you lied.
I 100% trust you, yeah.
You said you didn't trust me before.
Well, dude, I don't even fucking know, because it's not me. Like, literally, remember I told you I was imprisoned?
Yeah.
The night I was imprisoned, the Puritans were stalking me.
Fucking sucks. If there's Puritans in jail, you could beat them up, but you'd get extra time.
Well, when I was in jail, they said that I was insane. Certified.
This
Crazy.
man is insane.
And they put me in the psych ward. And I spoke to the people in the psych ward, and I believed that I was insane too. And I was like, I'm insane, help me to be better again. And I spoke to all the professionals. So when you're in the psych ward in prison, it's optional. The help is optional. So you can just exist there, and I was certified, which means that I would have stayed there forever. And you can just stay there and never talk to anyone and never admit that you're sick and never get any help, and you'll never leave. And most dudes just do that. They're just too full of pride, they're too stubborn. But I know that pride is a sin. And I was like, well, I'm not gonna be a sinner. I'm gonna try and be like a good person. And so I was like, well, I'm gonna put my pride aside, and I'm gonna get all the help that I can get. I'm gonna try and get better again, because I have goals in my life. I want to join the military. And if there's any sliver of hope, then I'm going to take that and expound on that. And so I did that, and I got every resource that I could. I utilized it, and I spoke to every professional that I could. And the outcome was, every professional I spoke to said that I'm fine. Even all of the prison guards said I'm fine. Even all of the criminals said that I'm fine. I'm not a criminal. I'm not criminal-minded. I'm not like crazy like that. All the professionals that have studied a psychology degree said that I'm mentally sound. I'm not mentally ill. They actually said that they don't like my family. I told them the truth. I told them everything. I told them everything I'm telling you. I told them everything that I could, and they were like, they came to the conclusion that I'm not crazy. I got uncertified, which never happens. So they revoked my certification, which means they have to sign. I know I've told you this before. I'm just rehashing. They had to sign so many motherfucking documents.
Actually, that's just like one of the few things you haven't told me. You told me like a part of this, but you didn't tell me all of this.
They had to sign so many documents to declare me sane again. And they signed them all. And I had to get like certification from a psychiatric nurse, like the personal one that's like with my case specifically. I needed her certification. I needed certification of a psychiatrist, certification of a psychologist, a social worker, everything you can imagine. So that's like 4 different streams of profession. And I even needed a certification from the prison guard. And I also needed certification from the prison guard manager of my section. And all of them agreed, and all of them took time out of their lives to sign the documents to get me out of there. And I didn't think I was going to get out of there, and I especially didn't think I was going to get out of there soon. And the charges they were trying to get me with, they were trying to get me with extreme charges that I don't deserve. But it didn't work.
Yeah, because all you did was go into someone's house and come on the floor.
Not even on the floor. Into some tissues.
I mean, why didn't you just wash the tissues? You would have been fine.
I was homeless. And I had been homeless for a long time. And I was drunk. And I was tired. And I was barely myself. and I still didn't do anything that bad.
I like having a PC. It's fun. I can just Google shit.
You don't have like a comment to make about... So, because of them trying to get me in trouble with that, I'm known as like a masturbator guy. Like, I go around, like, if anyone looks up my record, which people do all the time these days, like, I often go out and there's dudes just like jacking off around me, like making this are they just like, are they just a jack off, or are they like trying to make fun of me for jacking off? And like, I don't care at all. I think it's funny. I don't feel ashamed for jacking off. I'm a human being, and we jack off, and I hadn't jacked off for so long. And I found a comfortable place to do it, and I did it. And yeah, and like all the criminals all think that I've been treated unfairly.
Oh fuck. Oh fuck.
What?
I have to get a class mod. It's only dropped by tubby enemies, which are like really fucking rare. That sucks. You don't understand because you don't play this game, but if you play this game and you get really into it, you'll understand. That sucks. Oh well. Okay, continue.
Oh no, that's pretty much it. Like, all the criminals feel sorry for me because I went through intense lockdown, intense protection, intense psychiatric maximum security ward with the craziest people in this whole state. And I don't deserve it. The criminals were like, you're not a criminal. The crazy people were like, you're not crazy. And everybody just thinks I've been treated so unfairly.
You know, if I met a crazy person, you know what I'd do? I'd be like,
what?
You know that you're a bullfrog? The trees are all around you, you're hopping from left to right.
Do you know that also the prison guards got back to me and told me that after I left the psych ward, everything went downhill? I was like the equalizer.
Cool.
Yeah. And I made everyone else cool. But after I left, everyone started going crazy.
Oh yeah, I got the perfect white border class mod. That's cool. I'm not gonna use it.
Where the fuck are they?
My mom gay. Oh shit.
Really? And yeah, and like, that was the Puritans as well. Like, they're just trying to fuck me over so hard, and they're just trying to make me out to be like some kind of bad guy, and it's just not working. But they just won't stop. And like, what am I supposed to... So your suggestion was go to the States. They're in the States.
Yeah, but they probably don't know about you as much.
But they will get to. I'd have to change my name.
But people in the States are just fucking retarded. Like, no, they're not as retarded, I meant. They're not as retarded.
Do you think the Puritans will let me leave?
I don't know.
Because I've tried.
I don't know.
I packed all my shit. I reset my PlayStation. I deleted everything in my PlayStation, just in case. I cut off all contact with the outside world and bought a ticket to New York City. And I went to the airport and they wouldn't let me. And they called the airport and said they wouldn't be letting me on the plane. And the plane said, "Oh, why? Did he act weird or something?" And she said, "No. No, nothing's happened." And then I went downstairs and I talked to the concierge lady and I'm like, they said I can't get on the plane because I don't have a travel visa. And they're like, "You don't need one." And I'm like, well, they're not letting me on the plane. And they're like, you should just go. One of them just said, you should just go, like, into the, there's like an area, like you pass like a door and you go into the area. And then like, you can just go and just get on the plane anyway. And then, so I called my ticket company and they're like, oh, like, we can't give you back the full payment, but we can give you a refund of like half. Then they were like, also we can give you another ticket, but it'll cost more. Hello? Where the fuck did you go? On the edges.
Sorry, man. I was
okay.
watching a video because I need to fight this boss because he has a higher chance to drop a world drop
So like,
item.
getting a passport was fucking impossible. And I went to the passport office and they just wouldn't do it for me. And then one day, this girl took some sympathy on me and she's like, I'll do it. Where's the money? And I was like, I hadn't even gotten to the point previously where I need, because the people were behaving as though there's this long process and my passport gets sent away and then it gets approved and sent back to me. But they were like, no, you need to pay money now. And I'm like, why would I pay money without it being approved first? Because, you know, like if it doesn't get approved, then, you know, I'll just have to be refunded. But they're like, no, you just do the process, you just pay the money, you just get the passport. You know, they're like, if you've got a license and you've got everything that we need. And so I called up my aunt and I was like, hey, aunt, you know that $100,000 that I've been saving up? Would you mind lending me $80 so that I can get my fucking passport? And she laughed at me and she said no. Huh?
I said, no $80 for you. Your grandma is Asian now. Her eyes can't close.
It was my aunt.
Auntie, I say auntie, okay? That's how I say it.
Well, I say aunt.
Okay, well, I say auntie. It's just...
Aunt is not grandma anyway. But anyway, so she wouldn't give me the money. And then I got thrown out of home. And then I lost all my ID. And then I couldn't get my passport. I had to get my ID again. And then I had like to get ID, I need a doctor to sign. And I couldn't find a doctor that would sign my fucking passport. I had a dentist and I was like, can you sign it? And she's like, I don't know if I can. And I'm like, you can. I'm like, it literally says right here, dentist. And she wouldn't do it. And so I couldn't get my ID. And so what I did was I changed states. You know how when I met you, I was in a different state? I went to that state and I got my ID there. So now the ID I have is from that state.
Nice. I actually don't know if it's nice, but nice.
Actually, now I'm thinking I should probably get a new ID from this state with the ID from that state before I lose it.
Or you should get a fake ID.
I don't know how to get a fake ID. I'm not in any way a criminal. I was in a street gang, but they were a Christian street gang.
Pocket it. Just take it off someone.
Take someone else's ID.
Yeah, that's called a fake ID. Just either get someone else. There's two types of fake IDs. There's the fake ID where you take someone else's ID, and then there's the fake ID where you
No, I'm not.
make your
I'm
own
not
fake
fucking
ID.
someone else over like that. I'm not gonna take their ID and put someone else in my fucking position.
Okay.
I'm not the
good.
type. I don't pass the buck. I'm strong.
Good.
I fucking take life. I take the bull by the horns. The buck stops with me. I'm not a
Buck bull.
fuckover. I'm probably the only one in Australia that isn't, but that's just what I am. That's why I don't consider myself Australian. That's why if you call me Australian, I'm gonna yell at you for like 5 hours.
I know. Okay. I'm just saying you are technically Australian. You don't act like one.
Don't fucking say that. Just save it.
You don't act
Just
like
don't. I'm gonna get angry.
Okay, Mr. Angie Chucky Man.
My passport says I'm Australian. But I told you, officially, we don't exist. Australia couldn't get away with their crimes against humanity if we did exist.
Who's spamming Discord me?
Like, are you ever gonna, like, look that up?
Nope.
No.
I don't give a shit.
But are you ever gonna be like, you know, what's actually going on in Australia? Like, how fucked up are things here? Like, why is the United Nations petitioning for a human rights violation currently in Australia?
Because I believe you.
Oh, okay, well. It's the truth. Violation of human rights. Humans don't exist here. There's no way they could get away. The UN can't do anything about it because we all technically don't exist. They've had us gypped from the start. From day one.
So really, you don't exist.
Yeah, look, I've got my... Do you want me to go and get my fucking...
So the conspiracy theorists are real or true? They're not
It's not a
lying?
conspiracy, it's fact. Do you want me to go get my birth certificate right now and go online and check the facts? If it's written in capitals, it's unofficial. I have my birth certificate because I needed it to get my ID. And my family wouldn't give me my birth certificate. That's another thing that stopped me from getting a passport for so long. My family wouldn't give me my birth certificate. My own birth certificate, they wouldn't give it to me. And so, but I found out, like I researched and I found out that you can get your own. You just got to fill in the blanks. And so my family gave me copies of my passport, of my birth certificate, because I wouldn't stop harassing them. I was like, it's my fucking, I need ID, I lost my ID. Give me my fucking birth certificate, I'm not coming back, I don't want anything to do with you guys, you're a bunch of Puritans, all you do is ruin my fucking life. I was like, give me my motherfucking birth certificate and let me do this shit on my own. My parents are dead. You guys do not, my family do not like me. They do not assist me. They do not help me in my life. They try and punish me. And their punishment never ends. There's no lesson to be learned. They're mentally ill. They have depression. They take pills.
Why am I bad? I don't know.
They are officially, like, manic depressed. They are not mentally stable. And they torture me. With their mental instability is just telling them to torture me. They don't feel emotion. They're not human, and that's why, like, I got away from them. I'm like, well, something's wrong here. This is not how you behave.
Like a shotgun.
And I left.
Handbuster.
And I never fucking want to go back. So I was telling them. I was like, give me my fucking, like, stop being mentally ill for a second. I didn't actually say that, but maybe I should have. I've said just about everything else. But basically what I was saying was, I'm pretty sure they got the message. Stop being mentally ill for like 5 minutes long enough to go and get my fucking birth certificate and fucking send it to me so I can get a fucking identification. Because I've been out here on the streets in street gangs and trying to study and moving house like 50 times. And I've lost my ID, obviously, because you would too. And now I'm at the point where I'm so motherfucking organized, I could be in a war and I'd still have my birth certificate. My birth certificate is policed away in such a manner at this point, because I've lost it so many fucking times. I've been on the streets and kept it. I've also been on the streets and lost it. Yeah.
I've been on the streets and kept it. I've been on the streets and lost it.
Yeah, I've lost it too.
It goes both ways.
I lost everything and I had to get it all back all over again. And so, like, you just gotta... Because I had my other passport, my other birth certificate, I just have to fill in the blanks online, and they'll just give me a new one, and I just gotta pay some money. And that's how things work in Australia. You pay money, and you get your shit. You pay your money, and you get your passport. There actually is no process. You just pay them. It's like a business. And it's the same with ID. It's so fucking stupid. Like even right now, like to get an exempt from my
So
government.
if you really wanted to, you could just pay someone and get a second ID.
Yeah, right now.
Go do that. Go do that.
Well, I need an official person to fucking sign it for me. I
Get an
may know,
doctor,
but we're in lockdown
pay the
right now, so how am I
doctor,
gonna access any of those services?
Pay the dentist. Me, get a dentist. Pay the dentist.
But I just feel so fucked over. Like every time I try and do something, Puritans fuck it up for me, and it all started with like my own family, and my mother used to harass me and assault me physically and verbally. And one day I stood up to her and I pushed her. I didn't punch her, and I pushed her. I was like, because she followed me into my room, and I pushed her and she fell over. And now these Puritans just go around telling everyone that I'm a fucking beat up my own mom. They make it sound like I'm some kind of monster that fucking threw my fists at her and threw her around and shit, and like I'm some demon, and it's not fucking true. And like when the psychologist met me in jail, if that was true, they would have figured it out. If that was true, the prisoners also would have figured it out. They know what these dudes are like. They've dealt with them before. You just stole my fucking gold.
Dentist.
Anyway.
Get a dentist. Get a dentist. Boom, boom.
Anyway, I guess he can keep it. He's pretty good with it. So yeah, so all the criminals know that I'm not that kind of a guy. All the psychologists that actually have a degree in psychology that aren't just gaslighting people to make themselves feel better, they all know too. Everyone who's like professional knows. All these uneducated Puritans who don't have degrees in anything because they think knowledge is evil are living in this psychotic, made-up, make-believe world where they think, like, I'm not the perfect guy. I would agree with that.
Yeah, no one's
Like,
perfect.
I am a bit of a jack-off, it's true. I do have a porn addiction. I mean, these days, who the fuck doesn't? I am a horny little fuck. But that's just part of being human. I don't blame myself for that. And my mom, I did push my mom, and I'm ashamed of that, but I don't feel bad about it because she used to hit me on the head with a fucking cane. She was fucking had an explosive temper where she would just come out of her room. It wasn't me. I was chilling out. I'm a chill fucking dude usually. I was chilling out on the fucking computer researching shit, and she would just burst out of her room and come at me full speed and start screaming at me about some random shit. Now, I will admit that sometimes I get angry, like everybody does get angry at some point, but I don't just like burst out of nowhere and take it out on you. Do I do that to you?
Sometimes, yeah.
Do I just join the party and start yelling at you?
No.
That like so that's what I'm
Sometimes
saying.
You get mad at someone else and you take your anger out on me.
Yeah, and I don't mean to do that, but I don't just join the party and start getting angry at you and yelling at you.
No, you don't.
And I don't say that like everything you did in your life was wrong. And like, why are you doing this? And how come you're not like a Catholic like I am? And if you're not, then you're with the devil. You're worshiping the devil. Like, do I say shit like that to you? And do I say it like angrily and yell at you? Like, that's what my mom used to do. Like, she'd just come out of her room. Like, so I'd just be sitting there. Like, think about my mental health. I'm just sitting there on the computer. I probably was looking at porn earlier, but that would be in the nighttime while they're asleep. But in the daytime, I'd just be sitting there researching probably witchcraft, mythology, history, supernatural beings, but also researching history, world history, ancient history, classical studies, modern history, whatever I was studying at college. And she would just come out of her room, charge at me, start yelling at me. And I didn't react, and then one day, she was abusing me so she was like, do the dishes, and so I did the dishes. And then she came in while I was doing the dishes and started abusing me, yelling at me. And like, I was listening to what she was saying, and I was like, there's really no point to what you're saying. Like, there's no reason you should be yelling at me. And I was like, this sucks. And I'm like, I finished doing the dishes, and I went to my room, and she followed me. And she continued harassing me. And like, I was like, get out of my room. I was like, yeah, fair enough. You're saying what you're saying. Like, there's no relevance. There's no need. But like, now you're in my private space. Please leave. And she didn't. And then she just kept being aggressive to me. And I was like, I'm not going to take this anymore. And I pushed her. I think she pushed me first or something even. I don't know. I pushed her. And she fell, and she had to go to hospital. Because she was so frail, because she was disabled. And so now everyone has an excuse to defame me whenever they feel like it. So that's probably what my grandma is telling people when she talks to them. She's like, did you know he pushed his mom? And neglecting to tell them the part where my mom just harassed me pretty much every day, pretty much frequently, because she thought that abusing me is going to help me convert to Christianity. Because that's what Puritans believe. That's their fucking angle. They go to the city, they yell at randoms on the street, and they think that those randoms are going to convert. And it's never worked. Like, when I was in that church, nobody ever got converted. Some people decided, and I don't know how, but some people would end up going there and decide of their own volition to join, but nobody that they ever preached to ever joined. Nobody likes being yelled at about what faith they should be a part of. And without, like, the people that are yelling at them have no respect for their own religion. And I'll admit that I have, like, a dash of that in me too, and I wish I didn't, but, you know, I'm a product of my environment also. But I haven't been hanging around Puritans, I've been hanging around Catholics, and I've become more like them. And I kind of always was like them, because Catholics are chill, just the way I was always chill, until I get pushed. And everyone who gets pushed will retaliate eventually. And keep pushing people, they'll fucking retaliate. So what do you think of that? Do you think I'm a monster?
That seems retarded to think you're a monster. You're a pretty cool guy.
But I do get angry sometimes.
Everyone does. Not everyone, but most people do.
So when a Puritan comes to you and tells you that I'm a monster, you will literally be like, no, he's not. Because I'm not saying if, I'm pretty much saying when, because it will happen. Because they follow me around, they stalk me around, and all the people that I try and make friends with, they poison them against me. Because they're trying to force me, because that's how their brain works. Trying to force me to be in their religion that I don't want to be in. And they think that, like, if they take away all my friends, my life is like an evil fucking fairy tale. Oh my god, I won the whole fucking game. I'll post it. I don't know what was going on that whole time.